This program brought to you by Racing Victoria, Off the Track Thoroughbreds, Horseware Australia, Bates Saddles, and Willinga Park.
Last time on Jump Off.
Have you ever loaded your own horses before?
Oh, not for a while.
I could tell.
G'day, Ali. Pleased to meet you. She's an intelligent-looking critter.
He's probably just a bit fresh.
Oh, he did the right thing. He got on the other side.
Oh, gone straight to a crossroad.
So Michelle's obviously done a bit with this one.
Yes.
She's done a good job.
We won't tell her that though.
Good start.
That was nice.
Just popped him over the first little log and I was like, whew, wowsies.
G'day, I'm Hamish McLaughlin and welcome to Jump Off. The rules with Jump Off are pretty simple. Find a retired racehorse and teach it to show jump for $100,000. And for 4 of our teams, things are going pretty well, but for Team Johnston and Hayes, they're still on the hunt.
So it's Monday morning. I've got one horse, Sid. I'm really looking desperate. And then I get the call, we got a celebrity coming. Extra Zero. Extra Zero's retired from racing. He had his last race on the Saturday and he's going to be at our stables in about 2 hours' time. So, yeah, we're quite excited about that. We don't get too many $1.75 million runners to try.
Extra Zero. 100 starts, you'll either be worn out or he's made of the right stuff.
The horse stepped off the truck. He didn't have a 6-pack, he had an 8-pack. He was so fit, yeah. He had no letdown. But my biggest concern with a horse like this, 109 starts, how much more petrol we got left in his tank. It's like a footy player who's played 350 or 400 games. It's phenomenal. She's got clean legs for a horse that's had that many starts. Huh? Have a look at it, you're really clean. I actually wasn't that worried about the fact that it had so many starts.
Russell Johnston must be delighted to have Extra Zero in his team. A rarity in thoroughbred horse racing, he competed in 109 races over 9 seasons, amassing more than $1.75 million in prize money. A durable performer, Extra Zero might best be remembered for his agonisingly close second to his stablemate Spillway in the Australian feature, the Australian Cup, starting at 100 to 1. Extra Zero was a versatile galloper, winning over the hurdles at Ballarat. His final race win came at his 100th stint. Extra Zero retired from racing, healthy and completely sound.
If it stayed sound that long, it was obviously made of really good stuff. And no, this horse could easily go on for another 10 competitive years.
Russell runs the Victorian show jumping stables just outside Whittlesea in Victoria. Today, Extra is being paid a visit by his owners and trainer.
So David's coming to have a look at his horses, pressure's on. We've got another celebrity, we've got a celebrity trainer to go with the celebrity horse now.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the difference from race horses to show horses. Well, Extra Zero is one of my all-time favourites, so he's a bit of a household name in the racing circles, and let's hope he can make it as household name in the show circles.
Extra Zero has an owners group of more than 40. That's a big fan base. David Hayes, he's also a part owner.
It's a nice part of the world. Thanks, all right. Yeah, really good, thanks.
It's still a bit tucked up there.
He didn't give a break, did he? Went straight into it. Well, this old boy won his 100th race. He won, didn't he?
Flemington,
Yeah, not many horses have 100 races, and I don't think any have ever won on their 100.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so...
We might bridle him up and show you what he's
Go
up
on,
to.
have a look, yeah.
Hopefully don't fall off today. David was really good. He's a very easy guy to get along with, knows what he's doing, and he was made us all feel very at ease.
All competing riders receive their own signs to keep.
No, very impressive. Not in alphabetical order, clearly.
Flip the coin. I just like when they start off, just to let them walk over a few little fences, and I want them to do it nice and calmly. In some ways, it's easier to do it with a bit more speed, but I want him to really think about what he's doing and figure out to solve a problem calmly and quietly, like that. Yeah, not to rush it. So if you guys, David wouldn't mind just standing over here at E. David, he's used to giving instructions.
What's happening?
If you guys could stand at E. E for Edward. E for Edward. We'll do the combinations.
Extra Zero is handling the 6 canter striders down to a vertical jump very nicely.
That's a rookie error.
I was actually a bit surprised at how enthused David was with the whole show jumping job. You know, he's just he was as keen to learn as much as he could about it and hop right into it. So hopefully he can find me some more horses after this.
2 mistakes in 15, 20 minutes. It's not bad for a learner, is it?
Always been his back foot too.
There he goes. This is a bit. Yeah. Oh, he was clever then.
That was better.
No seconds.
We're coming here to win, mate.
That was
Pressure's not on us, really.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just the ownership of a horse like him, I mean, we celebrate for days and days and days. It was just a fantastic opportunity to get with mates.
Took us on an amazing journey. When it won its 100th race, that was just outstanding. I think it's a lot more fun when you're going with a lot of people. There's nothing better to be at the races with all your mates and to watch your horse go across the finishing line first.
So what'd you give him today out of 10?
Out of 10? That's the biggest I've jumped him under saddle. So I would say 8.5.
Oh, yeah.
How high was that, Russ?
How high? Just on about
80?
Yeah, 85.
800. Yeah. Where are we trying to get to? What?
110.
We want to be 115, 120. If we got to compete at 110, we want to be jumping 120 at home.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and if we can get flying changes as well,
bang,
we're in the money.
Bang. To get the flying change, Ricky.
Flying change. We get the flying change to the left. So next time you see him, I'll have a flying change to the left.
Yeah.
We got one to the
I
right.
look forward to seeing it. It's great to see him so happy.
It was pretty obvious that Extra was a real favourite for David. I mean, David really had something for this guy. They'd been a team for a long time, and look, their record is phenomenal. So, yeah, he was really, really stoked to see Extra doing something else.
Never been in this environment before. I'm very impressed. He does such a great job, Russell, with them, and I'm pleased to be on board with him. And what I saw today for the experience they've had, I reckon will be pretty hard to beat.
Did David just drive out then? And he left my gate open? Obviously he's got electric gates at his place. What's going on? At least I got my name in front of his.
Next, the current Australian champion reveals his new jump-off team.
He's hopefully our star. He's got a head on him only his mother would love.
It's thought the team of Jamie Kermond and Patrick Payne are going to be a very tough team to beat. Today we meet Jamie's selections and the latest addition to the team, Baby Hudson.
It's lots of fun. It's only been 10 weeks, but we're learning as we go. It's certainly a change, but yeah, very, very excited to have him around. Perspective, wonderful thing, you know. Hudson's now #1, most important, and whereas I think before I probably stressed on all the small things. As long as everyone's healthy and happy, there'll be another day. So I think that attitude has made me more relaxed, and actually I think we're better for it.
Jamie and I are going to hop on the first 2 and just do a little bit of flatting, try and get him nice and relaxed, then a bit of pole work, and if that's all going well, we might give him a little jump. Not sure how much jumping he's ready for yet. He sort of still gets a bit quick at the poles and that kind of stuff, but he's not far away.
Wisemuller is heading to the arena, or Mango to the Kermonds.
When the horses arrived, we always like to give the horses a stable name, and we let like the staff do it, the team. So Wisemuller got Mango, Raposo got Roland, his big horse, and Peaceful Easy Feeling got Easy, of course, and those names stuck to the horses. I think this is only the 3rd time Jamie's ridden after she's had a baby too.
So this morning I knew that we were riding the horses and probably going to be on film. That was its first challenge in itself. I had to put tight pants on. Didn't think Mango would be the first horse I would jump after having a baby, but here we are. Oh, Mango. Mango's keen to get involved. He's sort of the greenest of the lot. You need to have a bit of patience with him, I think. Like he actually feels like he's going to be quite a nice horse. Just try to get him to slow his rhythm down and relax in his gaits and stuff, and then canter, and then trot over poles, keep him straight. And yeah, I'd probably just do a bit more of what we did today and over a longer period of time each time we ride him.
Next horse today was Paddy Payne's sprinter, Raposo.
I quite like him. He's a horse that when I've jumped a couple of jumps on him and he sort of will just go to and doesn't even think twice about jumping them. But today he sort of one time ran to the oxer. He wasn't too sure about it, but he sort of, when he came around the corner, I could feel him looking at the fence and started like backing away from it, which is sort of what I'm after. I'd rather them do that than just run flat out at the fence. At least that's a sign, especially for thoroughbred, that they're starting to slow down and think about what they're trying to do.
You're a bit deep in the 7 Kerm, so I'll give you a bit of advice there.
Was I? Thanks.
Try it again, see if he's learned anything. Don't think Kerm told Roland that back rail had gone up. Probably should say that's enough, but if I know him, he'll keep going. Gonna call it a day with Roland or have another go?
One more.
I always know when he likes a horse because he'll go into back for it. If I say anything negative about it, he'll pull me up on it. So I thought, oh, that's good, they're forming a bond. And yeah, I think he's really liking working with him.
Last horse to ride today, Peaceful Easy Feelin'.
He's a cool horse, this one. Really like him. Better in the mind than the other two at this stage, or just trying to teach him a little bit more about connection and stuff like that. You got to sort of teach him that because when you're jumping, the jumps don't come up on the perfect stride all the time. So I just sort of want him to turn the canter along, and just if you have to take a bit of a pull to get him to shorten their stride a little bit. I just sort of need to get him where I want him over the next couple of months, but I think he'll get there pretty quick, this one.
This jump-off competition is going to be very, very competitive. Dave Cameron and Talara are looking for an edge.
We haven't had a look at any Kerm's horses yet in action, so we thought we'd just duck around the end. I know he's here riding today, and I'll have a bit of a look. It's been a while since I've used a set of binoculars.
Well, that one looks like it's going pretty good.
He's not looking too bad. And this is Kerm raw, he doesn't know I'm watching.
It's coming back this way.
We've got a couple of creepers here.
Talon Dave.
They did creeping behind the bush.
I think we've been spotted.
I've seen people up there for a while and I couldn't work out what was going on. And I was like, why is everyone up behind that bush? And then I think Dave was laying on the ground or something, wasn't he?
We heard Jamie was actually going to ride today, so we thought that in itself would be good to check out.
We better put him away before he sees too much. Today was probably a good day to ride them and test them a little bit in the wind and the trying conditions, because you sort of see them at their worst really, which is not a bad thing. I'm pretty confident they've all got enough jump to do what we're after anyway.
Well, horsepower was started and still owned today by a veterinarian, Dr. Mark Greathead. We probably punch above our weight a bit in the market. We don't try and be the biggest, but we do try and work very closely with our clients and come up with workable solutions for them. Basically, a lot of our stuff comes back to just old-fashioned horsemanship and animal husbandry, coupled with that latest science. I think it's fair to say that Kerm's, widely regarded as probably one of the most, if not the most naturally gifted rider in Australia at the moment. He just comes so easily to him.
Next up, Godolphin's James Cummings and Vicky Roycroft begin their training.
He had over 20 starts and won over $300,000 in prize money.
Attitude is nearly more important than talent.
With all the jump-off horses now at her property, they all get a health check from the very experienced Vicky Roycroft.
It's almost like you might have a little back issue, this horse. Yeah, he's just a little tender, which would explain a few things.
Vicky decides to treat Havana cooler with a massage rug.
It's vibrating. Whoa. Doing a good job.
Havana Cooler, this horse here, he had over 20 starts and won over $300,000 in prize money, and you know, he was an imported horse for us, but a really competent horse on the track.
After a little therapy, Vicky decides to take Havana Cooler out for a jump.
Whoa, I probably need those to be tied down, yeah? I'm just going to head him over this pole. Good boy. There's a lot of things I'm looking for here. One is his sort of, you know, his trainability and his attitude. Being in his new environment, he's got to learn how to stop and turn, and most importantly, how to focus on a top rail. So I think I'm getting the idea of this jumping game. Good attitude, good to ride, good to, you know, considering I'm assuming he's never done any of this stuff. He's taken to it like a duck to water. I just love this horse's attitude. Attitude is nearly more important than talent. Okay, it's no good having plenty of natural talent and a bad attitude. I wouldn't mind giving a vet just to check his back out, because I think he might have a little back issue. Thought I'd better give Godolphin a call and just see what the horse's history was, to see if I could, you know, because they can't talk to us, but have a bit more of a clue of maybe that there would have been a bit of history with his back.
Hello.
Oh, g'day, it's Vicky Roycroft calling. I've been down here jumping around on your horses.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you very much. They've all been very cooperative. The only one I'm a little concerned about, and it is one I'm keeping at the moment, is the one called Havana Cooler, which seems to, he's got maybe a little bit of a back issue. Do you know if he had any problems?
Not he's been off for a very long time.
He just seems a bit tender in his back. I was saying to the guys here in the sacroiliac area, but if he hasn't raced for a while, he shouldn't have any sacroiliac problems now. But I might get my vet to have a look at him, because I quite like him as a horse. He's a sweet horse, and he's trainable, and he jumped okay, yada yada yada. But
So Vicky's let us know that Havana Cooler had some issues with his back. So we've just made sure our guys were in contact with her, and they've been able to come up with a good solution.
the other one's in a circle. He is obviously in paddock condition. You know, he looks like he hasn't.
He's been off for quite some time.
And the other guy was Magic Hurricane. He was a little cutie.
He came from the Northern Hemisphere.
Okay. Oh, golly, I've got some exotic ones then, haven't I? Beautiful. Thanks a lot for that. See you, Barley. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
About a cooler guy, well, I'm just a little concerned with his back, so I'm going to get my vet to come and have a look at him just to make sure that everything's tickety-boo in that respect.
The health and welfare of a trainer's horses is absolutely paramount, and they know that that's not only important for the horse during its career, but also important when they're looking at transitioning those horses into their second career. There are lots of reasons why a stable might decide to retire a horse. It might be that it's a mare and they decide to breed with her. It might be that they're just uncompetitive and a bit like my horse was a bit slow. It might be that they have a little niggle or an injury that doesn't prevent them going on for a second career, but means that they might not be competitive at the level of racing. In jump off, these horses go on to do show jumping, and that's one of the many examples of how versatile our thoroughbreds are, whether it's show jumping, pony club, polo, being a police horse, a clerk of the course. Our thoroughbred racehorses really are so versatile, and this show really just highlights one aspect of how great they can be in their second career.
Coming up, Team Cameron Price have to hold up training for a very special occasion.
Tied the knot, locked him down.
And Vicky may have found her number one horse.
This guy naturally is a beautiful horse to sit on.
Mick Price is teamed with Dave Cameron and his new wife, Talara. They're just back from the big day.
Tied the knot, locked him down. Oh, he looked pretty good. I actually could barely look at him on my way down. I was so focused on not getting too emotional. I was like, keep yourself together, woman, as I was walking down the thing. But yeah, no, it was good. It was a warm day.
Kerm, one of my groomsmen, Jamie Kermon, so yeah, no, he was there backing me up. I think he might have cried more than me though. I'm glad he was part of it with us, so yeah, it was a great day.
While Dave and Talara were getting ready for their big day, the team back at home have been getting their 4 horses, Lankan Rupee, Riot Man, Neutronic and Stratigraphy, ready for jump-off training. Remember, they've got to get these horses up and over at least a metre for the final in just a few months.
We have a little bit different system to everyone else. Ours do a lot of work in our cross-country paddock and yeah, so they're jumping logs and ditches and stuff like that.
We'll get Gremlin up. I'll get Taylor to catch him because he's sometimes a little bit tricky.
Yeah,
This is Gremlin, well, fondly known as Gremlin. His proper name is Copabella Verdi. He acquired the name Gremlin because he's super well behaved, obviously. He's going to play lead pony today and show the little guys how it's done.
Yeah, whenever we jump into the young ones, we do like to have a lead horse with them. Maybe not even to go in front of them, but just to be with them.
Yeah, horses, especially thoroughbreds, they like to have a friend.
Riot Man, with a stable name Sunny, is first out today in the cross-country paddock.
Sunny will probably be better behaved than Gremlin, I'd say, at this stage. He doesn't seem too fazed by much. All right, let's roll.
I think cross-country paddock gives them a good chance to have just to be horses and do the things that the horses should do, and then we'll start in the arena in the coming weeks. From now on, we want to try to see how much they can jump. So we're going to focus a lot on the jumping over the next month.
Once he feels confident to take the training wheels off, he's off on his own.
Go solo. He's a really nice horse and he's a very natural, good jumper. Maybe his age might hold him back a little bit. You know, he's still a little baby in his brain.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's probably...
But his attitude probably has turned around the most out of the 4 of them in the first couple of days.
Definitely, so, yeah.
Which is
he was the worst one the first day, and he's
open
he's
to
come
trainability a little bit.
I reckon I'm right to go solo.
Okay. Good luck. You can see as they're trying to work it out, they'll use different parts of their body. Sometimes they'll lift their legs high but stay a little low through their wither, which is the part just below the neck in front of the saddle there. And other times they get really high through their wither as they jump up in the air, but sort of forget about their front end. So they do take a little bit to work it out.
Horses only learn from pressure release, you know. It goes right back for when you're teaching a foal to lead. You're pulling a lead, once it comes forward, you release the pressure. That's how they learn everything, you know. And then of course it gets more complicated later down the track. So basically, if he was jacking up, didn't want to go forward, I had to add more pressure. Once he did what I was asking, which was walk forward, I took the pressure away. And he learnt pretty quickly.
They learn from their little mistakes, I suppose you'd call them. Well, that was good.
I think he did everything right today. He didn't stop. He jumped the jumps. A couple times he actually felt pretty good.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind at the end that he was a bit relaxed and just popping over him. That's what we want him to do at this stage.
First thoroughbred accomplished. High five.
Tick.
Back in the stable, Lankan Rupee's a bit sore in one foot. Talara is straight onto it.
Do you have time today to come and see Lankan, one of those thoroughbreds that we've got here for the show?
Yeah, no worries. What's happening?
He's just come up with a bit of a foot abscess. We've been poulticing it, but I'd just like you to come and have a check of it so that we can work out whether he can have a shoe back on.
Yeah, no problem. Easy done. I'm just in an emergency at the moment, but I think I could be there possibly in about an hour and a half.
Perfect. That'd be great.
While the vet's on the way, it's Stratigraphy's time to shine.
When we first rode him in the round yard at Carolyn's place, he had a really good balance to his canter, and he's brought that here. So we're pretty happy with that. He's just a really solid character. He just wants to go wherever you point him.
See if he can get that placement. Oh, pretty good. Good distance there.
Although he doesn't feel like he's got an amazing jump at this stage, I think part of that's to do with the fact that he is really brave, and I think he's going to be the sort of horse that has to be challenged a little bit.
So Dave's sort of trying to, at this stage, just let them canter in their own natural balance a little, not have too much connection through the rein and the contact to their mouth, but sort of just let him poke his nose out and travel to the fence in a nice even canter. How'd all of that feel, Dave, all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
I do like him because he's such a brave, solid little bugger. You know, looks like the sort of horse he'll take you anywhere, you know. He's a really tough little horse.
With Tiggy going well, Neutronic's next up, and he's showing good signs.
He also seems like Tiggy is quite adjustable in the canter, so that's going to make the job of teaching him to jump a lot easier. I think he has done a little bit more than the others.
He's a little downhill as a type, and that'll sort of have a bit of a negative effect on his jump, but as he gets stronger and learns how to sit, I think he'll be better again. He's got a good jump, can be a little bit playful, but not in a bad way. But yeah, we quite like him. I think he's going to have a good brain at the end as well.
Over at the Roycroft stables, it's all go. Vicky has a new horse, Inner Circle, and she's hoping he might be able to do the job for her in Jump Off.
Come on, pal. You're next. Well, I need to see them, what they do over a fence. That's why I do the lunging exercise when I get a horse to try. On the lunge there, he showed a back end, like he was throwing his back legs up into the air, which is what we seek, and you don't often see in the thoroughbreds. Riding him, so it's like a warm blood. You don't get thoroughbreds like this. He's got big, loose movement, which really for gallopers, you know, when you look at the things like the best racehorse in the world today is Winx, and she's got a short, quick stride, you know, and so that's obviously very fast. This guy would be the total opposite. He's got a big, loose stride, so he probably wasn't very fast. That was pretty dumb. Just make it bigger, Cal, bigger X. You just put the ground lines out a fraction more, like a roll more. You know, he's very brave, and some horses can be too brave. You know, if they're too brave, they knock too many rails down because they don't worry too much. The only thing I would, as I say, my little doubt is whether he's going to be careful enough for what I want to jump. But I think generally, as a horse for a lot of people, he's wonderful.
This is Magic Hurricane.
As you can see, typical racehorse. He's got no idea of going on the bit or going in a frame just yet. And quite soon he's figuring out to go between leg and hand. And that's the self-education. This is rule number one. He's got to learn how to go straight between my two legs. Whoa, that was a big lesson. All right, let's try our other challenge here. Good boy. Got a very trainable attitude. They learned a lot today. They really did, you know, these poor guys. But as I say, luckily they had been well broken in enough, well trained enough. All credit to James. They're quite easy. Like I could probably step all those horses into a small competition in about a week's time.
Vicky's sponsors, Matt and Mitch Pride, drop by and have a look.
If you've ever met Dad Peter, he's a massive believer with supporting the industry that tries to support us.
Vicky Roycroft has been with us for around 8 years now. We've been looking after her feed.
Let's make it a bigger X now. Good boy. What do you guys think I should be feeding these X-race horses? I mean, the response is what I normally.
Well, the easy response is a great extruded cube. It's a feed that's fully cooked, so it's very digestible. It's a very cool feed. There's great oil seeds, legumes, and a few grains in there as well.
I've been very happy with it. It's good feed.
Next, a very passionate owner heads to Queensland to make sure her horse settles in well with Pete and Michelle McMahon.
Kirsty's coming with me. She doesn't trust anyone else with Woody.
And the McMahon's property is like a health retreat for horses.
It's quite tight for the neck, so we'll give that an adjustment and loosen all that up.
Today, National Horse Transport are moving 2 chosen jump-off thoroughbreds to the McMahon's property in Queensland. An owner of $1 Million winner Gotta Take Care, the Darren Weir trained hurdler, is going along for the ride.
On a road trip together. Kirsty's coming with me. She doesn't trust anyone else with Woody. So it'll be good to have someone with me for a change on the trip.
It's a few days on the road to get them to Queensland, with plenty of stops along the way.
We've got depots in Queensland, Melbourne and Scone, as well as here. And if they've got to stop over, they're here because the vets are here. So everybody's horse is sort of looked after correctly and how they should be.
Gotta Take Care and Johnny English arrive at the McMahon's property, Kalora Lodge, all safe and sound. Michelle McMahon, Pete's wife, herself a very accomplished horsewoman, is hands-on in their business of horse breaking and training.
It's quite tight for the neck, so we'll give that an adjustment and loosen all that up.
Again, these horses are thoroughly checked out. This one's receiving some treatment from a horse chiropractor.
So once we give his neck an adjustment, that'll make his head carriage better.
Michael Bryant is the best in Australia, if not the world. His, I suppose, famous treatments would be black caviar. He travelled with her to Ascot, to the UK. He does all the big stables. He's the best.
So that was his worst side there, so turning his head this way, very stiff. Ultrasound daily for 5 days should take the soreness and swelling out of that.
Another essential area of horse maintenance is shoeing. The old saying, no hoof, no horse, is very true.
We're putting some shoes on Pete's horse here for the show jumping competition. So he wants some real fast ones because Pete reckons he's going to win. There's concave and flat shoes, so concave's a little bit grippier. So, and then I'm sure Peter wants some studs, so he's got extra traction and the thing to get as much edge as he can.
Horse maintenance doesn't stop here for the McMahons.
Thinking abscess, but we'll leave it up to you.
Have a look and see what we've got.
El Divine, or Junior like Lankan Rupee, also has an abscess.
We had to get the farriers to just dig out and make sure that we release the abscess, and we've had to dress it every day, trying to get him sound.
It's all open, so there may be a small abscess that's come out of that. Probably best to get something back on and protect his foot.
We'll just trot him up out on the side and just see if he's trotting a lot better now. Just make sure there's less pain there. Yep, you just trot him back. I'm really happy with that, he just looks super.
Yeah, he's not head bobbing at all.
With an all clear from the farrier, El Divine can now go back into light work. Poor old Pete, he's been going since the early hours riding breakers and then supervising over 70 racehorses in the stifling heat.
That's usually 5 o'clock. Everybody starts to kick off. I've got 5 riders that help me out down the back. It's quite a long morning. We don't finish up till around about 12 o'clock. That's when everybody finishes for lunch. Have a lay down, have a bit of a kip for half an hour or an hour, and then start back up in the afternoon.
He's having a little snooze. 2 o'clock everyone starts back here, but he might go to 1:15. And yeah, but you'll probably find him on the lounge or on the floor.
Back in New South Wales at Team Cameron's, their vet has arrived to check out the champion, Lankan Rupee.
Before we take the poultice off, actually, then we might just take him for a little
Yep, we'll try that, yep.
Yeah, he's still a little bit sore there, isn't he?
He was visibly lame at the walk. We trotted him up and we knew straight away that, he had an issue.
Dave's very knowledgeable on feet, being a farrier himself, and he
He's obviously found an abscess, cut it out. The horse, it sounds like it's dramatically improved. He's still very subtly lame at the walk, but still quite lame at the trot. So what we're going to do is just take the poultice off, and then we'll just have a look at the foot, decide whether we want to put a poultice on or whether he's ready to have a shoe on.
It looked like it was a foot abscess, which is not a really serious injury. It's just something that they have a build-up of pressure. Once that abscess is released, the wound heals, they're back on track. But, we thought straight away that's what it was. It was classic foot abscess symptoms.
Yeah, look, you sort of go to it and you barely sort of touch it and he reacts. I think he does need a little bit more time, because I think if you put a shoe on, it's just going to push straight on that, and it's just going to keep him sore. I think you're on your way, so I would put a poultice back on. I can poultice up for a few more days.
Yep. First time.
It was always going to be tough for Lincoln. He didn't have the most natural, willing attitude to jump jumps right from the start, and he only stopped racing 2 months earlier. So it's always a massive ask. This setback in his training, it's going to be a good couple of weeks for him to come good. It's not going to help him. And now he's not lame at the walk, so it is drawing out that pus and that pressure, and then and it should just continue to do that until he gets better and better. And once he is, we'll chuck a shoe on him when you give me the go ahead, and where we go.
On the team.
Can we get the thumbs up?
That's a big setback. Lankan Rupee is now going to be right behind in his training for the jump-off final. With the Camerons confident in their game plan, the other husband and wife team are working together beautifully.
Right, your dogs off. Get off the arena. Go and tie them up.
Racing Victoria have a bunch of retrainers. They take horses from off the track and educate them to a certain point and find homes for them so that they can go on to have a lovely career in doing something else other than racing.
We're really lucky. We've got nearly 70 acknowledged retrainers across the state, and they are extremely passionate horse people, and their role is to take the thoroughbred from its racing career and retrain it, having identified the animal's skills and traits, and retrain it for its next period of its life. And we're very lucky to have such a committed, skilled base of people who can do that.
The advantage of buying from a retrainer is because a lot of people haven't got the money to go and buy an educated horse and a fancy warm blood or purpose-bred horse. So the retrainers can actually put a few tools into the horse and a bit of education that it makes it easy for like a pony club kid or an adult rider to continue on with it instead of being straight off the racetrack where they've got no dressage education or jumping education. So that's the benefit of having the retrainers start them.
The McMahons are getting their horses ready at home for their first outing to their local jump club at Elysian Fields.
How does he feel?
He feels good.
You think he feels 100%?
He's 98%.
Let's give you a little cross in the centre and just start here. But just ignore him when he's sharp. Ignore him when he's sharp.
We did Junior first up today purely because he was sore yesterday. We wanted to see if he was going tomorrow. If he wasn't going to make the truck tomorrow, we would substitute and put something else on. He was probably 98%, so I think by tomorrow he'll be 100%. He was quite fresh today. He had yesterday off. He's quite a good jumper. He's just a little bit of a stressor. And quite reactive, if you go to put a little bit of leg on, he overreacts to it. But all in all, he is a really nice horse.
He's just not in front of my leg today. I'm hoping that he's going to be a different horse tomorrow. He'll still be his fresh and quirky self, but tomorrow I think, once he's out on course, I think he'll change his tune and he'll definitely sort of focus in a bit more and know his job.
Next horse out, he's got to take care, or would he?
For an old horse, his joints seem quite good, so It's just amazing how they feel.
And Weary looking after him. Woo! At least he's got good reflexes.
He's still a little bit quirky too. Like you've seen him, he's a bit fresh and you know, he's looking around. So those sort of horses that are a little bit quirky like that, they're always sharp and you know, they want to get off the ground and they don't want to touch the rails. So that's probably what we look for in the jumpers.
And now make a diagonal and come through this one here, Pete. Super Pete, really, really good. Woody is just an old darling. He's set in his ways. He's a bit of a funny thing, but he actually jumped super today. You know, for an older horse that's not so supple, and the amount of miles he's had on his clock, you know, being a superstar hurdler, he jumped super today.
Next up is a beautiful grey horse called Johnny English. They call him Agent.
Just go on his good rein first until he's warmed up in his back.
I have warmed up. Agent was feeling quite fresh. So Michelle wants to come down, bring all the family, the dogs, everything.
Oh boy, he's in trouble.
Right, your dogs off. Get off the arena. Go and tie them up.
You own that one, and I own that one.
We'll
and
go
Malia
and tie
owns
them up.
that
Put them
one.
somewhere.
Don't play with dogs.
Of all the days the dogs come out, and if the boot was on the other foot, Pete would have seen the funny side.
Trying to work Agent, everything's not going as planned because I like to get down there and, you know, pull him into gear a little bit and get him working nice. But this day it was just, everything just turned to shit, and Michelle was like, thought it was really funny.
I did see the funny side. He just didn't see the funny side that day.
There's plenty of passion in the Weir McMahon team, that is for sure. I reckon when Weary signed up, he knew he was getting Peter McMahon. Not sure whether he knew he was getting Michelle as well. Next week, the horses are show jumping all around Australia in their first competitions. And not all retired racehorses need to be great show jumpers. Old Virtue, she's a ripper. She played a lot of polocross. See you next week on Jump Off.
Oh my God! Did I make you all hot and bothered?
There's sheep down there, look. You've got to help your neighbours, so we're off.
Think you're going really good, and then you get to that first outing, and then they're not going so good.
I've jumped at some of the flashiest arenas around the world, and here we are down there doing battle with 9-year-olds.
Look at them, my little girls. Oh, that's
what's
cute.
your horse's name? My horse's name is Sunny.